Welcome to Kitco News. I'm Niels Christensen. We're continuing our coverage of the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit. Talking to me today about silver and mining is Eric Fier, CEO and President of SilverCrest Metals. Eric, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to talk silver with you today.
Great having me back on. It was always been a pleasure working with you guys to get the word out on silver.
Let's talk a little bit about your projects. You're fairly active in Mexico right now with the drill program. Let's start there.
Yeah, very active in Mexico right now. So SilverCrest, this is part two. So SilverCrest 1.0, which was SilverCrest Mines, I helped start up in 2003. We've been in Mexico since 2005. We discovered the Santa Elena mine, put that into production, quite successful, a money machine, and then we sold that off to First Majestic in 2015. Did a SpinCo, which is today SilverCrest 2.0 or SilverCrest Metals. Our market cap at the end of 2015 was $5 million. And today it's over 1.5 million Canadian. So you can see how we like to create value for our investors and in the market. We basically discovered a project near the Santa Elena mine, which we put into production. It's about 25 kilometers north of it, called Las Chispas. It's in the state of Sonora. It's a very safe state. If you're going to be operating anywhere in Mexico with a mine, it's a great state to be in. Lots of government support too. And we got great community relations too. We've been in the valley where we're at over 15 years now. So everybody knows us, got a lot of respect. Yeah.
What's the environment like for making deals in silver mining right now?
Well, it's relatively good. I mean, with a bull market and swing here, there's lots of opportunities, but it takes quite a while to get a good property, you know. And one of the foundations of SilverCrest has been don't over purchase a property, which could damage the company in the future. So we like doing reasonable acquisitions. The Santa Elena mine that we purchased was $4 million over 5 years. Okay, we like these option to purchase. We don't do joint ventures as being starting out as a junior company. Those are difficult, but really Santa Elena, $4 million over 5 years. Las Chispas, $4 million over 4 years. And now Picacho, that's we bought it outright, 100% for 1.6 million US. Okay, so these are very reasonable. We've already from a market perception, we've already in the purchase of Picacho. There's a lot of value there already to totally replace that cost of purchase. So you got to be patient. I could buy a lot of properties tomorrow, but there are things that I probably don't like. So you have to be patient in this market. So any market, you have to be patient.
Do you think we've learned from the mistakes or the over exuberance, the excitement from 2011?
I think the investors have. I don't know if the companies have. So, it's that with a rise in the market, you're always going to get more rushing in the door. Okay. And really the investor has to look at the success of the management, the project itself. A good management can take a bad project and do pretty good with it, but a bad management can't do much at all. Okay, so really look at that management in any cycle that you're in. Okay, and it seems when you're on a big run there's a lot of groups get together. A lot of them are great, a lot of them are not so great. So the investor needs to watch and really decipher and discern through what really to invest in. Look for successful management teams. I'm an investor in the market. And that's the first thing I look at is successful management teams. SilverCrest has been very successful. The sale to First Majestic was an all-share deal in 2015. Turned out to be $1 billion deal. Okay, so first SilverCrest made $1 billion for investors if you believed in that story and wrote it out. since it was shares. And this story with SilverCrest Metals has just been, fantastic, going from a $5 million market cap in 2015, under 5 years later, here at 1.6 billion this morning. And those are Canadian dollars. So, what a great ride. I've lost it's not a 10 bagger anymore. It's over 4,000% return on your investment. So, and it's because the management's successful, and if we were to sell off SilverCrest 2.0, SilverCrest Metals, then we just start 3.0 and do it again. This is a do it again story. I'm not saying we're going to sell. We are totally focused on putting Las Chispas into production. We're just finishing off our feasibility study, which will be completed by the end of this year, 2020. And and it's a snapshot in time. And we're still drilling. We're drilling outside the resource and reserves of that feasibility study. Continue to expand at Las Chispas. If you take anything away from the story of SilverCrest Metals, is it's really high grade. We're finding this out when we're designing our mill and looking at the processing flow sheet. There's very few companies in the world that have to really look at things that are over 10 kilos per ton silver equivalent. This is 300 to 400 ounces per ton silver equivalent going through your mill, and there's not a lot of mills in the world that can do that. So we're working with to the point where there's too much silver. There's champagne problems. Okay, there's just too much silver, and 50% of the value at Las Chispas is gold, which is great. I love projects that have a great gold credit. So yeah, it's a great story. We'll continue to expand it.
Has COVID impacted your timelines?
Yeah, just like everybody else, we had to shut down. So we're about 6 months behind schedule because of COVID-19. Okay, and it displaced us for 3 months, and then 3 months to gear back up. We had to build a quarantine camp on site, which you don't want to do if you got communities that are providing services. But we've met with the community. We've talked to them. They understand that we want to keep any even perception that we're in the community passing around COVID-19. So it's hands off right now from a community standpoint. We continue to support them. We've done a lot of educating in the local communities on COVID-19 and other projects that we continue with them. But really, it came down to shut down and then build a camp. And we'll continue to operate at a camp level through construction. So the camp capacity right now is at about 200, and we'll go to about 350 in camp. And it's a very nice camp because you got to keep people separated. So you get your own room, you get your own bathroom, you get all this great. I've traveled for 30 years around the world to 30 countries, and these are some of the nicest rooms that because of COVID-19. But it's costing us. We'll spend probably an extra $10 million just on COVID-19.
Now the exciting part, silver. We've finally seen silver catch up and overtake gold. What are your thoughts on the price action that we're seeing?
Well, in our last interview over PDAC, I basically in that interview I said I'm a big believer in the ratio, the gold to silver ratio, and you guys put it on the front page of your website there. So, and I'll check that frequently to see where we're at. And the last time we talked, it was at 100 to 1. So we're sitting around 70 to 1 right now. And I always felt that, around 70 to 1, you were truly in a bull market. Okay. So, and I believe that will continue. I like these, pullback periods that we go through and settle down and just really build momentum for the next rise up, and every indication to me shows is that we're going to rise up from here. You got a lot of instability in the world, a lot more than you had a year ago. That's usually pretty good for gold and silver. Silver always lags gold. And so really you got your big gold performance, and then the silver will catch up, and that'll be reflected in the ratio. So yeah, I just watch the ratio, and that tells me the pulse of where we're at in the cycle.
Do you think the ratio falls? I mean, historical averages maybe around, between 50 and 60. We're sort of at 70 now. Do you see more room for the ratio to fall?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I certainly do. It's different markets for different cycles. So I don't know if I'd run to the average, but in the peak of the last cycle, it went to 35 to 1 or 25 to 1, somewhere in there, if you look at the charts. So, but those are 1 day or 1 week type of responses. So, I'm happy, below at or below 70, maybe it gets to 60. And some people, and I got a lot of people that come to me and ask me, well, why is the stock market's down today? Why is gold down? Well, I said, everybody's taking profits. That's why our share price is down. And we got a great liquid stock, and we trade on the New York Stock Exchange too. We're trading over $14 million a day, and it has great liquidity. And where do you run to if you need cash? You go to liquidity. So, and that hits all of from juniors to seniors. You get a bad day or a bad week in the market, don't be disappointed that you're driven down. It'll catch up. Gold will catch up, and you'll rise again.
I think that's a fantastic place to end it. I like ending on an optimistic note. So, Eric, thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Great. Yeah. Again, thanks for having me on. Hold on, guys. It's going to be a great ride coming up.